Live Alive, not Live Alive. Live Alive is one of the best games of both 1994 and 2022. This 2D HD revival of a JRPG is beautifully animated, has classic RPG elements, and isn't afraid to derail from those RPG elements to benefit the fun the player is having. With a wide variety of gameplay mechanics and stories, this game is always a breath of fresh air and never has a dull moment. The presentation is turned up to 11 constantly throughout this game, and the localization and dialogue is hilariously entertaining.
Let me guess. It's not that you hate milk, but that you can't stomach it, less it's fresh from your mother's tits.
Your mother's, maybe.
Huh?
The writing can also just be beautiful throughout this 9-part game, each having their own styles and gameplay mechanics. Starting with Imperial China, where we play as a Shifu. No, not that Shifu, and recruit and train 3 disciples, one of which is literally like Po. Okay, maybe this game inspired Kung Fu Panda, what? Anyways, we pick one of our disciples to be our successor, where we choose what moves they can learn and how their stats will be increased. Next up is Prehistory. Now this is a silly one. Following early cavemen with only symbols instead of actual written dialogue, we get to do a lot in this part, like fight with our gorilla friend, have sex. Whoa. Have sex? What? Hey, but I mean, you can throw some poop, so that's pretty cool. And craft some items. This is a really wacky part. Next is a good break from the typical RPG style with the Wild West. In this story, we focus on building a town's defenses to defend from a gang. You only have sunrise, though, to gather all the supplies and get the townspeople to set traps. Get the Pikmin back to the ship. You can set either a lot of traps or no traps at all. Depending on how much you set affects how many enemies you fight at the end. You can fight just the final boss, or oh no. No, it is still possible to win, even without setting any traps at all, and it can make it a fun challenge, and I'm glad it's an option. Another twist of the typical RPG is the Distant Future section. This one is largely story-based with only optional fights, with slight humor at the beginning. Wait, Among Us? It quickly turns into a dramatic and almost horror-like story where survival gameplay is implemented as you investigate throughout the ship. Next is Present Day. This part is all about fights and presentation. Set up like a Street Fighter game, we battle contenders from around the world.
Well, if it isn't the mother himself.
That's me! As you battle opponents, you copy their moves, and after each battle you feel more and more OP, it feels unique, and looks like an absolute spectacle. Next, of course, is Twilight of Edo, Japan, which is a beautiful action-packed stealth adventure. There are several routes you could take in this part, and each of your choices you make affects the ended outcome. For example, you need to enter this castle here, and you can do so by either sneaking past these guards, letting them go unharmed, or killing them and moving on by force. You can actually complete this part without killing anyone, or by killing up to 100 people total. And when I say killing everyone, I mean you can kill like anything that moves. See these innocent women? You can just kill them. This one has plenty of secrets and flashy techniques, and the battles can get quite difficult too. My favorite part is the near future, which is anime inspired with a good mix of story, humor, style, and action. We use our psychic abilities to learn more about the world and the story, and use psychic techniques in battle. This one has a great climax. Last of the time periods is the Medieval Ages, which plays as a typical fantasy RPG with random encounters and mages, wizards, and demons. It's a beautiful map that you explore, and it seems like a typical adventure right up until the very end. After this part is where all the adventures are brought together and you pick your main character going into the final part. You start alone at first, but quickly recruit others from all the time periods and grow a powerful crew, exploring several dungeons and solving many puzzles. This game also just has a fantastic soundtrack, from Gigalomania to Megalomania. Not Megalovania! Live Live, Live 4 Live, and so many more tracks. This game's soundtrack is just unbeatable, and the beauty of the 2D HD cannot be understated. Live Alive is all about subverting the expectation in a typical JRPG for the benefit of more fun. You can fight as a giant OP robot with super lasers. You can choose to leave the mission. You will be challenged. The combat is fluid and flashy. This game makes you feel alive. Also, don't forget about the pooping and farting thing you can do.